ago in Ohafia village, there lived a girl called Olamma. She lives with her parents and siblings. Olamma came from a very poor family. Her father works as a laborer in the construction site, and the money he makes there is barely enough to feed his family, as he rarely gets jobs. And Olamma's mother works in people's farms. Her family is poor and just feeding from hand to mouth. Olamma has 7 siblings. She is the 5th child. 4 of her elder siblings are not at home. Her parents have given them out to people to work in their homes as house help. She was 13 when her auntie came down from the city to the village to inform her parents about a woman called Madame Philo who needs a house help. Olamma's parents immediately agreed for her to go to the city with her auntie. "At least we will be getting extra money to feed your younger siblings," said Olamma's parents. Olamma doesn't have a choice but agreed to go. Although she was very unhappy and sad to leave her parents, her other siblings, friends, and her village. When Olamma arrived at Madame Philo's house, she was welcomed with a hot jollof rice, chicken, and salad, after which she was shown her room, where hot water was waiting for her. Madame Philo is a very kind woman, humble, kind-hearted, with a heart made of gold. Married to Mr. Emenike, who in turn is a good man and has no problem at all. The only issue they have is that they have been childless since 8 years of marriage. Aside that, they have a peaceful home. They are a very rich family. Both couples have their businesses they are running. Madame Philo have a boutique that she owns and managed by herself. Just that she needed a company at her home. This is the reason why she contacted her friend to help her get a house help. Olamma in turn is happy and grateful to God for bringing her into a peaceful home, and her madam is kind-hearted and treating her like a mother would treat her child. She lacks nothing, for Madame Philo is taking proper care of her. 3 years later, Olamma, now 16 years old, making it 3 years she has been staying in Madame Philo's house, Madame Philo got pregnant. There were happiness and jubilation in the family. A dream come true for the couple. 9 months later, Madame Philo gave birth to a beautiful bouncing baby girl. There were celebrations and jubilation all over the place. 2 months later, when the baby was just 2 months, Olamma fell sick. Mr. Emenike, Madame Philo's husband, bought medicines for her on his way from work. Olamma was given the tablets to take. At exactly 1 a.m. in the morning, Olamma was called to come and carry the baby, as she was persistently crying and refusing to sleep, as little babies would do sometimes. And Olamma in turn was still running temperature and having a splitting headache, since the medicine she took couldn't stop her fever, and no one was aware that she was still sick. Olamma reluctantly came and carried the baby to relieve Madame Philo to catch a few minutes of sleep, since she was still recovering from the C-section she had. Olamma, who was becoming tired and sleepy, coupled with the fever she had, got tired of carrying the baby as she continued crying. Olamma, out of frustration, mixed some of the medicines that she was given to take for her fever and gave it to the baby to stop her from crying. After a while, the baby stopped crying and fell asleep. Around 6 o'clock in the morning, Olamma heard a very loud cry coming from Madame Philo's room. She ran to see what was happening. Shockingly, she saw Madame Philo with the lifeless body of her baby in her arms. The baby was already dead. Their happiness turned into sorrow as they mourned their precious baby. Madame Philo never recovered from the tragedy as she lost her mind from the shock of losing her baby. Few months later, Olamma left Madame Philo's house, and no one knew what happened to the baby as she never confessed. They believed that the baby died in her sleep. Olamma knew everything, but did not tell anyone about the medicines she gave the baby, as she did not believe that it would kill her. 2 years later, after the incident happened, Madame Philo died, as she never recovered from the trauma of losing her baby. Few years have passed since the incident happened. Olamma, now a 27-year-old young woman, who got married 3 years ago but no child. Nothing was wrong with her as confirmed by the doctor. Both Olamma and her husband are fit and okay to have a baby. Olamma, desperate to have her own child, went to a powerful man of God who disclosed to her what she did a few years ago out of ignorance, and was asked to go and confess her deeds to Madame Philo's family. Olamma, in agony and remorseful, set out to locate Madame Philo's family to confess to them, but got disappointed to know that Mr. Emenike, Madame Philo's husband, sold his house and left the city. No one knows where he relocated to or his village. Olamma was crying and wailing as if her world has come to an end. Where will she go, and whom will she run to for help, as confessing is the only solution to her problem? 1 year later, Olamma's husband divorced her as he believed that she will never have a child. Olamma, now a lonely, bitter woman, her ignorant mistake have ruined her life. The end.